Hi friends and fellow Earth Angels, it's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering April 25th through May 1st. Or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning whenever this video pops into your feed, that is the time that the messages are meant for you. So welcome, friends. If you've been following me along, last week I was in Sedona, Arizona, and it was a wonderful trip, a very blessed week, and I've come back inspired by nature. So this week I'm going to use all cards that I feel connect me with nature. So before I let you know what cards I'm going to be using, I just want to share what's going on this week. So I didn't realize, so I felt last week when I was channeling my reading with Archangel Michael that came out and the message said, "You are safe." I wasn't really aware of what was going on in the astrology. So it made sense to me, but it didn't make sense to me. And I'm just channeling the messages and I trust that the divine knows what it's doing. So now that I'm aware, I've been back and I've been able to check in with the astrology, I myself have been feeling unsettled, disrupted inside, confused, like feeling squeezed. And I thought it was part of me just coming back from a high energy place. We were with 47 women. That in of itself can be a lot. But now I'm realizing as I look back and I'm like, wow, Archangel Michael was powerful in his messages that last week. So I would encourage you to go back. There was a lot of really great information that can support you as we move through the intensity of this energy. So I will also link it at the end of this video on the screen. And sometimes when we listen to something and then go back after like the week is over, I don't know if you ever watch it at the beginning of the week and then watch it again in the middle or the end of the week and you can kind of see how it unfolds. That would be a reading that I feel like I'm being encouraged to send you back to because it's got, like I said, useful information that can support you. So here's what's going on. Mars has entered Cancer. They call it Mars's fall. And Mars is like the red planet, so it can really activate the intensity. And for me, it feels like it can activate change. And because of that, it makes us, especially as Earth Angels, more sensitive to how we're feeling and what is working for us and what is not. Now, we have to be mindful during this time that we're not projecting our stuff onto other people. Well, they need to, like victimhood, things like that can come up. And I'm certainly feeling it within myself where I'm like, whoa, I've got some stuff. And I'm grateful I have a wonderful support system to hash things out. So before I cause a mess in my relationship and external world, I am now aware of what's going on in the astrology and what I'm supposed to be digging into. So shadow stuff might be coming up for you, limiting beliefs, maybe you're not feeling in flow. Maybe you're feeling angry. Maybe you're feeling frustrated. Maybe you're feeling emotional. So on top of Mars, Taurus, the sun just went into Taurus, which is the bull earth energy. We also have the full moon in Scorpio this week. Remember, Scorpio is that sign of like mystery. It can be connected with our sexual energy, which for women is our highly creative energy, right? Getting in touch with the sacral chakra this week. And again, wounds can come up, heartache, betrayal, anger, resentment, especially connected to relationships. I will be doing a pick a card reading, full moon pick a card reading this week. So, stay tuned to the channel, like, subscribe, so it pops up in your feed when I do post it. That is something I'm going to talk more about. But on top of the full moon in Scorpio, we also have Pluto stationing to go retrograde. And I believe Pluto will be retrograde until October. And that's a whole thing too. I mean, I'm not going to get into it too much here, but Definitely, if you follow astrologers, or if you're in that, explore it, do some more research on those energies, and encourage you to utilize the shifts that are happening to really dig in, to do your inner work, because this is how you evolve and grow. And so this week, I'm going to support you with loving messages, with the animal energy, with nature. Really, I'm going to tap into that Cancer energy that Mars is in, because obviously I'm that quadruple Cancer. I want to tap into that energy to support you this week, as you may be feeling the intensity, or you may be feeling that intense energy with the people around you. Really, sometimes when people aren't aware of the shifts, they can just naturally purge and release, and the stuff can come up and out, and they don't even know it. So sometimes it can be difficult as an earth angel to be around that energy, right? And so this is the part that we're learning, is we're learning how to separate from, that people pleasing, that wanting to make sure everybody's okay, doing everything for everybody else. So we're really learning when the world is going topsy-turvy and rocking back and forth. Earth angels are really learning how to find our center. We're really learning how to navigate that difficult energy, where before we would kind of run and hide and be introverted and eject and maybe hide our light. We can now use this energy to learn how to transform it, how to heal it, how to love it without the responsibility of fixing and saving and changing and making everybody else better. So we're learning how to protect and nurture and love and strengthen our own gifts in these times of being squeezed. So the cards I'll be using is the Archangel Animal deck, and then I'll be getting an additional message from Nature's Whispers, and then how the butterfly energy can support the changes, how the butterfly energy, what changes are going on in your life, and some support with that. Messages from mystical wisdom, additional support in the changes that are going on, and then we'll get an overall message from the Flower Therapy Oracle. So unfortunately, not a lot of these decks are available. I know, I use a lot of decks that aren't available anymore, or they're out of print, but I know a lot of people who follow these readings have these decks at home. So the reason why I share them, not always so that you can go buy them, because a lot of times they're not available, but that you can go into your own decks and read about them and get additional messages to support you. Okay, so let's open up space. All right, so let me invite in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you this week. I'm going to connect with the animal and plant, flower kingdoms, nature, Mother Nature. I'm going to ask the messages that come through before your best and highest good, and the best and highest good of all concerned. Okay, so let's see here. Archangel animals. What animal medicine can nourish us this week? What's the most important animal medicine to nourish us this week? What do we need to hear, see, feel, and know? Let's see here. Ooh, the hyena. Oh, I love it. Dare to be different. Yes, yes, yes. So Archangel Jophiel. Archangel Jophiel is the angel of beauty. She helps to beautify our thoughts. She typically comes in when we are experiencing lower vibrational energy. Again, this is not a judgment, but it could be interpreted as negativity. It could be interpreted as toxic. It just doesn't feel good to be around. And so Jophiel, and we have to remember, if we're hypersensitive to that energy in our external world, remember there may be a part of you that may be having those experiences within, right? So ask yourself, how may I be having toxic or negative thoughts. And this is, it's beautiful to be able to explore it. This is why I say those thoughts and those experiences are really good, because they're teachers in some way. They're shadow teachers. It's a little uncomfortable. It's a little difficult, right? So we have to be mindful. Okay, how can I be mindful of beautifying my thoughts, right? And we can nourish ourselves through those words that I love so much: pause, rest, stillness, surrender. What else? Nothingness. What else? Savoring the silence, right? It's usually when we are sitting, being, and aware of the present moment that we become aware of this insight or wisdom, right? That's where the feminine energy is, right here in the present moment. That's where we access the wisdom and the feeling part of us, right? The nurturing part, the creative part. And so when you are feeling challenged and feeling squeezed this week, I feel like the hyena medicine is reminding you that you've come here, especially those of you who are guided to watch this channel, to be different, right? You've come here to have experiences, to grow and evolve spiritually, whatever that means to you, right? You've come here to learn about the ego and how it can be transformative and how it can connect you with something greater than you and tap you, get you tapped into the innate wisdom of all that is, right? There's so many of you right now that are kind of coming out of the box thinking. You're awakening to this higher level of information. I don't mean higher as in better or higher as in like the ego sense, but higher in higher vibration. Now that a lot of us are in a much more stable place. A lot of us are feeling more safe in the world, let's say. So we have the opportunities that our grandparents and great-grandparents didn't have when they were just surviving based on feast and that feast and famine mentality and war and crisis, right? We've kind of gratefully moved out of that in the way that it was then, and now we can dig into learning about our mental, emotional, and spiritual states of mind. And my message, my wisdom is always teaching like those that I work with personally on a professional level about connecting to the wisdom of the heart. I believe that's what Jesus and Mary Magdalene were teaching about the heart mind, right? And how we're learning how to get out of the mental thinking of problem solving and fixing and doing and diving deeper into the wisdom of the spiritual heart, right? That's why you're different. This is why you see the world in a different way. This is why you have experiences in a different way. And I feel hyena is reminding you to embrace that this week. I know sometimes we can feel like it's a burden or it's challenging because we're so sensitive and we feel so deeply, but when we can sit long enough and pause in it and reflect upon it, therein lies your power. So your power is in being different and seeing things in a different way. And so calling on Archangel Jophiel this week also can assist you with raising or elevating those doldrums or those doom and gloom thoughts that we all have. That's part of being human. And so when you add the and in, we can have those experiences and explore them and be compassionate and loving. And trust me, friends, I know it's a skill. It's something we have to work at. It's something that we have to learn and practice and show up to. And so I see so many of you transforming and evolving through adversity and transforming your pain into your power. All right, so let me get additional message from Nature's Whispers. Hyena, what else would you like the Earth Angels to know about being different, embracing their uniqueness, seeing it all as a treasure and a gift of healing to the world? Okay, I'm going to go with that. I think it's 2 or 3. Who knows here? Let's see. There's 3. Woo! So, this is so awesome. Okay, so it's maintain your childlike spirit. When energies can be intense, they can be dense, they can be heavy. We can naturally morph into that and put up the walls and the tough exterior and become emotionally unavailable and hide, right? We're being asked to learn how to be receptive, open, but also expressing ourselves, expressing our truth from I feel. Children have no problem pitching a fit in a supermarket or at a toy store and expressing their emotions. Now, obviously, it's not socially acceptable to throw a tantrum in the middle of a supermarket as an adult, but you have to understand that your inner child might be getting activated this week, right? And so when you can parent that part of you and remind yourself, I hear you, I feel you, when you can allow your feelings and your emotions to flow in a safe space, in a non-judgmental container, it can be liberating, my friends. And it can actually activate the joy, the laughter, the play, the adventure, the fun, the freedom that the childlike spirit activates. So maybe some of you this week, if things are intense, go find a swing, right? Go maybe, I don't know, maybe you have a stuffed animal. Maybe you can pull out some crafts, right? And remember, I keep seeing the sacral chakra, pleasure, laughter, joy, being able to experience that in the moment, regardless of what's happening around you, because when you feel good, those around you feel good. When they feel good, the people around them feel good. And when they feel good, the people around them feel good. But remember, it's not your responsibility to make everyone else feel good. And it's not healthy to dull your light because other people may have a hard time with it, they may not understand you. So I feel like we're kind of playing two sides of the coin here. Some of you might be purging and releasing and feeling that intensity of that energy and confused, right? If you're in your mind, trying to problem solve and figure something out, sometimes we can approach these situations from a very egoic controlling energy, which is just going to push people away. So being able to pause and sit and reflect. A couple nights ago, I had a really hard time sleeping. I was so exhausted and I was just up. And that's what actually made me look into the astrology to see what was going on. I'm like, oh, I get it now. So when I can surrender into those feelings of restlessness and aggravation and annoyance, and sit with it and I pray, I ask the Holy Spirit to give me some guidance, and I lean into it and just surrender into it. And I usually always gain deeper insight or wisdom after that, and my body feels better because I gave it permission to feel. And like I said, those of you who are experiencing loved ones in that space, your shining eyes, your smile, your radiant beauty, and being of service to God's people in the world can be such a blessing. Just be you, right? Just be you. Just be that happy, bright energy. I was on this retreat, and I surprised the women that I hadn't been in a couple years, and I had just some personal stuff, and it was a big trip, and I had to kind of pull back, and I was invited back, and I went and I surprised the ladies, and there were lots of squeals and hugs and laughter and excitement. And I felt like before I went, there was like a lot of pressure on me to perform, to do something. And I was constantly reminded, just be you, right? I had asked a friend, I'm like, well, what is it? Like, what is it that makes me different? Like, what is it that, people enjoy? And she was like, it's just you. And I was like, I asked God, I'm like, what does that mean? And for me, I got my light, my joy, my faith, my belief in the power of the divine, my innate ability to share wisdom and inspire others. And I'm like, well, that's easy. So I went there in that space of just being me. And hyena, right? They call it the laughing hyena. I was able to bring joy just by showing up and having experiences and loving living life. I also balanced it with a lot of alone time. I would wake up in the morning, and I was up at like 6 a.m. there. And I would wake up in the morning and I would read a book, and I would watch the sun come up over the mountains, and I would talk to the mountains and the energy, and deer would come outside my deck, and I had some really great experiences with some hummingbirds and some yellow birds, and I just really took time to find balance. So that's a word that's coming up for you guys this week: laughter and play, and then also too feeling your emotions. The other cards that came out is you are worth it. You are worth taking the time to work on your own healing. You are worth pulling back and, as I did, creating space for myself. You are worth the time and energy and that you're putting into this healing journey that you're on. You're also worth receiving joy, laughter, pleasure, wisdom from the universe, right? God says, what can I do for you? How can I assist you? How can I support you, right? All we got to ask, and not always do we know what we need. This is why I always ask the Holy Spirit, show me, I'll follow the leads. You're worthy and deserving of asking the divine for assistance. And then the other card that came out is be true to your heart. Do you see how this is like all identity stuff? It's all connecting with the essence of who we are. And we really don't know that until we're squeezed. We don't become aware of it until we're challenged. This is why I see challenges as an opportunity to grow. Yes, they're not always comfortable, but you get to the heart of the matter. You get to a deeper sense of self. And in turn, as many of us are healers, intuitives, light workers on this planet, we then take that wisdom and we share it with others. And you will naturally align to the people who will be open to receiving that information, right? So it starts with you. I'm seeing these yellow colors here. This is your power. I'm seeing the peacock energy, which is all about showing off. I think the male peacock, he shows off his beautiful feathers, and that's kind of what draws in the energy. So it's okay for you to shine your light. How may you be dulling your own light and dulling your own shine? I certainly have been doing that. I recognized that when I was out in Sedona, that I've been hiding a little bit, and I have been dulling my own light for a false sense of security or safety. And I've certainly prayed on that, and I'm working on shifting that within myself. And I just share that because some of you may resonate with that yourselves, or maybe you feel like you've got to perform or be a certain way. So I feel like this is a message for you to be true to your heart this week. So we have a 9, a 5, and an 8. So 9 is completion. 5 is about change. Remember, that's the numerology we're in this year is 2021, change and transformation. And 8 is about abundance, but it's also becoming aware of cycles and rhythms and patterns that are no longer serving us, right? Where are we in this never-ending cycle of highs and lows, good and bad, right and wrong, right? How can we shift into seeing and embracing all the experiences that life have to offer in a loving and compassionate way? All right, so let's see. Change, transition, speaking to the 5 energy. What does the butterfly energy want us to know about the changes we're going through? Ooh, family changes. Yes, I am noticing a lot of generational shifts. A lot of patterns and cycles and rhythms, codependency, what else? Addictions, let's see, guilt, fear, transforming these energies, people pleasing, right? These are kind of what Earth Angels have lack, right? Lack of abundance, insecurities with money and growth and freedom. So Mars might be bringing out this stuff, right? And so with it being in Cancer, I would encourage you to nurture those parts, right? And just saying, okay, what am I learning about this? What do I need to know? Know that also too, a lot of what you experience could be unconscious beliefs from society, from your upbringing, from your education system, from parental units. Remember, we don't know until we know, and then when we know, we do better. So this isn't about being a victim. This isn't about blaming anybody. This is about, aha, I see it now. Once you make those ahas and you have those awarenesses, that is the healing. And then from there, so many of us are now learning. We know what our wounds are. We know, these insecurities or these wounds that we have of rejection or abandonment or not feeling good enough, right? This is a very common thing with earth angels that we've come here to outgrow and become empowered in it, and then come up with programs and podcasts and like product to help others from other generations learn how to heal these family changes. And the beauty of my work is that I get to work with, and I love so much, families, husbands and wives, mothers and daughters, fathers and sons. I work with aunts and uncles and grandparents and grandchildren, and it's just, I always say that's my favorite. So of course I say, God, bring me more of that in my life or something even better. So understand, if your family's going through some changes, you're not alone. There's this generational stuff that's happening on a deep core level. It might be subtle. You might not be able to see it with your physical eyes, but it's happening. And this is why I feel like it's important for me to share these things, because I see these things. I talk about a lot of these things with people who don't necessarily have people in their lives to share these informations with. So, we become more of a family, we become more of a network, we become more of in a space where we feel seen and we feel heard and we feel valued and we feel normal, right? In our differences, which is powerful. So that's what butterfly medicine is bringing in. We're changing. There's so many parents now, young mothers and fathers who are shifting things for their children, and they're really putting their time and energy on focusing on the mental, emotional health of the child and nourishing and, really listening and allowing these children to evolve into their own intuition and spirituality. And it's, like I said, it's not something that we're doing on a mass level, right? And in these big giant groups, but we're all doing it on an individual level all over the world, and that is powerful and transformative. So if you are raising spiritually gifted children, or you are working on your marriage in a healthy way, if you are seeking the guidance and support, I thank you. I encourage you. I appreciate you. It's so powerful, even though it's uncomfortable and it's hard and it's challenging and it's scary and it's confusing. I encourage you to keep on keeping on, right? And of course, I'm not encouraging if you are in an abusive situation, or you're working with children or parents or significant others who are on lockdown in their own wounds, right? So that in of itself, being able to shift out or make changes within yourself, the universe can then also shift you out of those experiences. But this isn't about stay or go, good or bad, right or wrong. This is about how you're working on your own growth and allowing your world around you to transform as you become more aligned with your truth. All right, so let's see. What is this deck? What is this deck? Oh, it's on the other side of the room. Mystical wisdom. What can the hyena and Archangel Jophiel support you with this week? What message of support does the hyena and Jophiel have for you? Message of support as you're going through these things. Okay. All right, I want to pull that one too. Let's see here. Ooh, potential potential. Think big for your future. Wow, I love it. So, understand that our family dynamics, especially our grandmothers and great-grandmothers, they were told who to be. Even, I shouldn't just say grandmothers, grandfathers, and great-grandfathers, they were told who to be. There was this program that was imprinted in the masculine energy that if they expressed emotions, they would die. That came from the men who were enlisted in the military. And obviously with war, that is true, right? You can't be soft and open because it could be life or death. That's unfortunately the very dark side of war, right? So these masculine energies on a mass level would come home and they would imprint that don't show your emotions. And this is kind of where we're in that space where there's been this masculine wound on the planet, like where they have to be like tough and not show emotions. And especially if you are a sensitive feminine energy that have those masculine men in your life with those programs, it can be very painful to watch, right? And then anger comes out, right? And again, this could also be, if you're a feminine energy watching this could be your own inner masculine that is shaming your own feelings and emotions, right? So this is not sides. We're not talking about boy girl here. We're talking about these energies and these programs that have been playing out on this planet. And so the family changes is to, in supporting masculine energies, to feel, right, and allow that energy to purge and release within ourselves and others. And in that, we then become more aware of what our full potential is, why we're here on this planet. I say so often, earth angels have come and chose really parents and experiences in the shadow to learn how to transform it, right? And, I believe the power behind the work that I do is that I can relate to, right? I don't know exactly what you're going through, and it's impossible for you to know exactly what I'm going through, but there's common denominators, there's common experiences where we can be more compassionate and empathetic, or maybe supportive of others, because we may have experienced a variation of that in some way. Just somebody saying, I believe in you, and it was hard and painful, and I love you, and I believe that you can do this and grow through it, is so healing and so powerful, right? So our full potential is being activated on right now. The power, especially in the feminine energy of intuition and insight and receptivity and nurturing and wisdom and feeling. And remember, we all have that energy within us. As we then now bring that into balance with our healthy masculine, with analytics and logic and giving, right? These are all the masculine qualities. As we find balance in these healthy ways, we then get glimmers of the possibilities, which is endless right now. And so the additional card, new beginnings. Look at this says. It says, begin your new life. It's literally the phoenix rising, right? I love it. It's kind of like the peacock energy that we see over here as well. Such awesome energy. Also, too, I want to see, look at this child. This child is looking at the angel. It's almost like receiving the inspiration. So go to spirit, go to the divine. That's what this is saying too. New beginnings, begin your new life. This is where we're going, friends. We've just finished the last week in April, or we're finishing it this week. And now we're stepping into May, which is a 5-month, right? 5 is about transformation and change. We already had a 5 here. And here it says, you are worth it. You are worth breaking these cycles, these patterns, these rhythms. You're worth the courage to lean into the fears and the worries that you've had. You're worth the time and energy. And like I said, the possibilities are endless on what you can create in this world when you start working with and co-creating with the divine. All right, final message. What is the overall message from the Divine Mother and Father? Let's see. Let's go high vibrational. What is the overall message? What's the most important message you need to hear, see, feel, and know? Overall. Ooh, signs from heaven, right? Look up, right? This is angelic energy, but seek out the divine in all that you do. So the message here says your loved ones in spirit are waving hello and giving you reassurance that you'll be all right. Excuse me. So this could be part of your loved ones. Maybe you have some unresolved experiences or unresolved, unhealed energy from a loved one that's passed. Know that they're working with you. Maybe, like I said, you're like, maybe you're in a space where you're like, that person has transitioned or that's passed and I feel stuck and I can't heal it. Have conversations. This is for some of you, not all of you, right? As this is a general reading, for some of you, your loved ones might be sending you signs, encouraging you to make the changes. Sometimes we can hold on to traditions and experiences and material things. We can fill our lives with these things from people who have passed on because we feel, it was sacred to them and they love this and I need to hold on to it. So I feel like for some of you, this is about lightening your load, right? This is about, being able to come to terms with, yes, I had a very difficult, now hypothetically, this is just an example. Yes, I had a very difficult and challenging relationship with my mother or my father or my brother or my sister or my grandparent, and I can understand it now. I can understand where they're coming from, and I can move forward and I can grow from this, and I can see who I am because of it, what I've learned, and how I can move forward from it, right? This is how we heal. And I can tell you the full moon in Scorpio is coming up, and the full moon is always a time to release and surrender and forgive. And the best way to forgive and accept experience is to say, okay, what have I learned from this? Who am I because of it? And how can I move forward from it? When you can see it as a shadow teacher and a shadow experience as an opportunity to learn, you can look at it from a different angle, from a different perspective, and you can gain wisdom from it, right? So I feel like this is your loved ones encouraging you. And so maybe this is loved ones who maybe in the afterlife who would be supportive of you, who would be encouraging of you, and you're not feeling that person in your life right now, and maybe you're feeling alone and confused and not empowered in the decisions you're making. This is another sign from your loved ones, is saying, I've got your back, I'm waving hello, and I'm so proud of you. This could also be the Divine Mother and Father loving on you so much and encouraging you to come to the spiritual parents, come to father and mother love, whatever that means to you, and lean into them for the love and the hugs. And, God and the Divine Mother and Divine Father, Mother and Father love, they will send you signs from heaven. I've shared that. The mourning doves is like a sign of the Holy Spirit, or the zeros, the number zeros is my number to connect with God and the divine. Mother Nature with her animal medicine that comes in, it's my way to connect with the Divine Mother in the world, right? So sometimes those rose-colored glasses need to come off where we've been pretending and avoiding, and I just feel like that's what's been happening these last couple weeks. So know that you're not alone, that heaven is supporting you and guiding you and loving on you. Most important, loving on you in all facets of you, all parts of you. All right. That felt lovely. All right, let me close space. Let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the Divine Mother and Father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you this week. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. And so it is. And as always, friends, if I can support you, if I could be of assistance for you in any way, the information on how to book an appointment with me or connect with me is in the notes below. And I thank you. I thank you for sharing me with your friends, with your family. I'm very much enjoying doing group readings, right? I'm still doing them via Zoom, but it's been really fun to connect with family members that are kind of all over the country and in all different houses. And then we just kind of log in, and it really is beautiful. I connect with their grandparents and, parents and aunts and uncles, and that's been really fantastic. So if you're still quarantining or you still want to connect with your families, that could be an option as well, these group readings that I've been doing. And of course, just tune in and subscribe to this channel. There'll always be support here for you, especially in all the past readings that I'm doing. So again, stay tuned, hit that notification bell so when I post my new moon and full moon pick a card readings, you have first access to that as well. And I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine, trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.